So what should you do if you've been podcasting for a little while and you realize that your audience just isn't growing anymore? Maybe when you first launched it, you had a burst of excitement, your listeners were excited, you were excited, you're starting to get more and more downloads with every episode, and then you just kind of hit this plateau where it seems like no matter what you do or how good the episodes are, you're not getting more listeners and more downloads for your podcast. So in this video, we're gonna talk about 3 things that you can do to break out of that plateau and keep growing your podcast. And the first thing that you should do is actually look at your statistics. Every single podcast host will give you some kind of podcast stats. With Buzzsprout, we have a lot of things you can look at. And what you're looking for are specific episodes that are disproportionately more popular than the others. And so if you're looking at all your stats and you see that most episodes get about 50, 60 downloads per episode, and then you had one that for some reason got like 150, that should be an indicator to you that this is really what people are interested in listening to. And it will probably surprise you. I know it typically does for me. It's not the episodes I expect to do well, the ones that I pour my heart and soul into. It's the ones where I had that really interesting guest that shared that story, or I talked about something that nobody had really talked about before, and my listeners really grabbed onto that and said, yes, this is fantastic, this is great. And they're telling me with their downloads, do more of that. And so if you haven't done that recently, go back through your podcast stats, see if there are any episodes that really jump out, that are disproportionately more popular than the others. And that could be an indication of what your listeners are actually wanting from your show. The second thing you can do is ask your listeners to fill out a survey. You can create really easy surveys with Google Forms or SurveyMonkey for free. Put a link in your show notes and say, hey, if you've been enjoying this podcast, I'm trying to make sure that I can make it as good as I possibly can. If you fill out the survey letting me know what you like about the show and what you don't like about the show, I'll do my best to incorporate your feedback in the future. And even if only a certain percentage of your listeners actually fill out that survey, that is invaluable information. Because typically, as a podcaster, you're trying to read the tea leaves and figure out what do people like, not like. You're trying to make educated guesses based on what you can see, but there is no substitution for simply going directly to your listeners and saying, what do you like about the show? What are your favorite episodes? And what are the things that you wish that I would do differently or wish that I would not do at all in order to make this podcast even better for you? So create a very simple survey using Google Forms or SurveyMonkey, send it out to your listeners, and then use those responses to help you figure out how you can break through that plateau. And then the third thing you can do to break out of that plateau to kickstart your podcast is to spend more time marketing your podcast. Now that might sound like, well, of course, Travis, if I had all the time in the world, I would just market my podcast all the time. But what I have seen coaching, working with podcasters, and even running, I think I'm up to 10 shows by now. What I have noticed is that it's easy as the creative, as the person putting the podcast together, to gravitate towards the things you naturally like to do. And so if you enjoy interviewing people, if you enjoy editing your podcast, if you enjoy tweaking with your episode artwork, that is where you will spend most of your time because it's fun and you enjoy doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that. But just recognize that until you're able to spend at least as much time marketing your show as you do producing it, you're probably gonna stay stuck at that plateau. And that's simply because podcasts, once you have a listener, they're there. Like they're committed, they're downloading your episode, they're listening to you for 30 minutes a week. But it takes a lot for someone to commit to that as a subscriber, as someone who's following your podcast on a weekly basis. And so unless you're getting the word out there and letting people know, I have this really incredible thing that you will love, they're not gonna know about it. And so if you're not spending as much time marketing your show as you are producing it, then you're missing an opportunity. And so just go through and ask yourself, of those 3 things, what is something you can do right now in order to help break out of that plateau? Is it going back and looking through your episodes to see which ones are outperforming the others? Is it creating a simple survey that you can send to your listeners and promote in your upcoming episodes so they know to go and fill it out? Or is it just doubling down on your marketing content to make sure that you're actually putting in the work to promote this really incredible thing that you've made so that more people can listen to it? Pick one of those things right now to implement to break out of that plateau and to kickstart your podcast. Now, if you recognize that, I haven't been marketing my podcast the way that I need to, and I really wanna learn the best practices of what is working for shows right now, then I have some fantastic news because we just put out a playlist of the top marketing strategies that are working for podcasts. And so if you wanna check out that playlist, pick the strategies that work the best for you. You click the link in the description below, Or you can jump over to this playlist right here on the screen and you can start watching those videos next to take that action to start promoting your show and getting the word out there. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. And as always, keep podcasting.